This is the new Hilton Motto in Tulum, and this is what I call a bite-sized room. In this video, an honest review so you know what to expect coming up. And if you're new here, yo, I'm Christine Lozada with Where in the World is CL, and I make travel videos every week to help you get up, get out, and go travel. So if you like travel, consider subscribing. I've been to Tulum a lot. I'm very excited to check out this property for my 4-night stay, and I can't wait to share it with you. There's tons of info and helpful resources in the description, so do not miss out on that. But the first helpful thing to know is let's talk about the rooms, because there are pros and cons to this. The pro is that they're modern, they're nice, they're brand new, unlike a different hotel that I thought was new. You can see that in the description. This is actually legit brand new. Like, they just newly built this building. Everything is new about the property, and the rooms are very nice and very comfortable. On that same note, they are perfect for a single traveler. I was here traveling alone. If I was traveling with my boyfriend Meatball, we would not fit in this room. And there is an option for bunk style beds. No, I would not share it with this. It's up to you. This would be too small of a space for me to share, in my opinion. I did ask though, about upgrades. I'm like, oh, can I upgrade to a bigger room? Can I pay more for the top floor? All the rooms are the same size, so there isn't an option to go get a larger room. But for one person, I'll be honest, it has everything you need. You have a little bit of desk space. I had to call the front desk and ask for a luggage rack to put my luggage on, but it has all the things you need for one person. There's this weird little closet-y setup between the bathroom and the shower, but it's not really that big of a deal. And the most important part, I did my inspection for cockroaches, crazy looking spiders, and scorpions, and you will not find that at this property, which is fantastic because you will find that at other properties. Did I mention crabs? There are no crabs as well. That's Coco Tulum. And the other plus side, definite pro, is there is air conditioning. That is fantastic, and it is icy cold. The next helpful thing to know is that we've talked a little bit about how it's modern, but it's also quite expensive. And I'm not talking about the room. So the room with taxes for the time I was there in February 2024 was this rate, which is totally reasonable. And you get the modern spaces in the lobby. There's some downstairs spaces that are quite nice. The pool, which we'll talk about more in a minute, is a nice space, but it's lacking that Tulum realness. So if you've been traveling to Tulum for a while, like I have, it's lacking that soul and that spirit that Tulum has. It's got the look, and it almost has the vibe, but it's kind of missing the true Tulum feel. You really got to go to Tulum Beach for that, if I'm honest. But I'll also equally say not everyone cares about experiencing Tulum realness. And so when I say things are a little bit more expensive, here are a couple examples. I love drinking wine. To have a glass of wine at the property was generally around $15 US for a glass of just okay wine with not a totally proper wine pour. And if you get a burrito, it's around $25 US. I grew up in San Diego. I can't pay $25 for a burrito. Yeah, I can. But the other thing is you are next to a couple cool restaurants and other spots. We'll talk about the location in the next one, but there are some other favorite restaurants that I love that are nearby. You can check that out in the full blog post that goes with this, which, by the way, if you're getting some value, cheers that like button, consider subscribing. And if you have a helpful tip, add it below. This hotel is not the only one I've stayed at in Tulum. I've stayed at a lot, and I'm dropping a neighborhood guide because you're at the entrance to Aldea Zama, which is under a lot of construction. This property is next to a lot of construction that's happening right now. And I really thought that a lot of this construction would be done because last time I was here, link in the description below, I was at the A-Loft, just literally a block away, and all that construction that was going on when I was there 2 years ago is still happening. It's almost like they made zero progress. So there's a lot of construction happening in this area in general. Let's talk about the location. It feels, the honest word that I want to use is annoying, but it also depends on how well you know how to get around Tulum, which if you want tips on that, check the description. And so the pro about the location is that you're not deep in Aldea Zama, which is great because it's still very much up and coming. It's very sterile in there and very quiet and empty and ghost town-like in a lot of places. You're not in La Valletta. hello, far away. Everyone will advertise these areas as being, oh, so the beach is so accessible. Yeah, no, that's not accessible. Depending on how you define accessible. Accessible to me is staying at the Playa del Carmen the week before, in which you literally walk out to the beach. That was very accessible. Staying on Tulum Beach, even in a room that had crabs, the beach was very accessible. Beaches in Tulum are no longer free. That's up for debate. I'm just gonna go with the location is not the easiest one. If you have a car, there is a garage, which is great. It's underneath the property, so you have a proper garage for your car. Riding a bike around Tulum is always an option. I'm a huge fan of the e-bike opportunities here. There is an e-bike store that is within the complex. The hotel advertised itself as providing bikes as part of its daily fee. That's not what I was told, but maybe you will have a different experience. But if I were to ride a bike as fast as I could, as safely as I could, on a regular bike to the one accessible free Tulum Beach, not the beach clubs where you pay minimums, I would say I could get there in about 18 minutes, maybe 16. I'd say it's faster, but I'd be lying. And a quick tip around taxis, because people will probably be like, oh, well, what about taxis? A lot of people think that Uber is available in Tulum. You might want to consider watching the How to Get Around video. But this hotel works with a group of taxis. They will not negotiate for you. I did use them to grab a taxi to go to the ADO bus when I got out of Tulum, and the going price at that time was 200 pesos. Exchange rate right now is around 16 to 1, so this is the US price for that, ish, which I think is fine. It's neither here nor there, but taking a walk and negotiating your own taxi, if saving money is something that matters to you, I recommend doing that. Or you can be like everyone else in Tulum who gets totally ripped off by taxis. Let's talk about the pool, because all the social media will make it look like a total vibe, and it is kind of is like a vibe up there. It's a cool little deck area with 2 separate pools that are quite small, but nice to lounge in and nice to look at. Again, there's a lot of construction going on around here, so watching a sunset from the pool is nice, but there is construction around. It's a nice option to just have the pool there, especially if you love pools. And actually, one helpful thing to know is that the restaurant that's upstairs at the pool is the same menu as what's downstairs. So whether you choose to dine upstairs or downstairs, in my opinion, is really about the bug situation. I got eaten alive upstairs a few times, and the air conditioning situation. Whether you want to be outside enjoying yourself or you want to be inside in the air conditioning. And speaking of restaurants, the restaurants on site are a nice option to have. I did have breakfast there on one of the days. I was considering having dinner there, but chose to go off site. While I really don't have a, like, I recommend it or I don't, like, it just exists. It's really nice because it's convenient, but you have other dining and drinking options within the plaza. I definitely recommend going outside of the plaza to truly enjoy Tulum. Staying within the plaza and within the hotel reminds me of what it feels like to go to Jamaica, but only stay in the resort and never leave the resort. If you kind of get my vibe of what I mean by that. Let's talk about the staff. Let's talk about safety, especially if you're traveling alone. And then let's talk about my recommendation. So I'll say staff, definitely hit or miss. I mean, we're in Tulum, so we had some really great staff. I mean, it's great that it's a Hilton property, but I'm not expecting the same Hilton service that I get in other places. So I would say the staff was fine, hit or miss most often. The safety, I would say yes and no. So one of the things I loved is you had to use your card key a lot to get anywhere in the property, which made it difficult if you tucked it away in your purse or your fanny pack, but was also great because it helped me to stay safe as a solo female traveler. So if you want the full story on this, I'm gonna add it in a different podcast episode in which I talk more at length about it, but not every man is watching this who wants to hear about a solo female traveling woman who has some random dude knocking at her door for an extended time and no one answering the phone at the front desk to have security come up, and I am deathly afraid, and that's just what happened while I was there. I let them know. More of that story is elsewhere. check the description. What's the bottom line and would I recommend it? I would say it depends on the type of traveler you are. If you're someone who's never experienced Tulum before, you're really looking for a more modern experience, something that feels kind of like, you know, I'm still in the US, then this might be a really great option for you because they will take your US dollars, people will speak a lot of English here, and you will get a lot of the amenities that you're used to. There are no signs here that say you can't flush your toilet paper, unlike a lot of the other 90% of toilets in Tulum that don't flush if you put toilet paper in there. You still shouldn't put toilet paper in the toilet in Tulum in general though, to be honest. But it's not really a true Tulum experience. It has its pros of air conditioning and being modern and brand new and at a fairly affordable price compared to other properties, especially compared to the beach. And if you are considering the other neighborhoods, make sure you check out the other video. And one other thing is like the location, yes, is not the best, but you're not deep in Aldea Zama or La Valletta, and there is a plus side to that. It all comes down to what are you going to do in Tulum? How much time are you gonna spend at the property? And if you are gonna be out enjoying yourself, is it a good jumping off point for that? Because if you're just getting picked up every day by tours, then this might be a great option for you. Be a smart traveler. Check the latest rate in the description. Tons more available in there for you. I'm Christine Lozada. It's not easy to be super honest in these videos. So if you found some value, cheers that like button, add your helpful tip in the comments below, and I'll see ya in the next adventure. Ciao. Almadea. I always call it Almadea. Aldea Zama.